program due to technical issues. I want to say welcome everyone. Tonight we continue to probe the readiness of elected officials to provide undiluted, public-spirited leadership and representation to their constituents. Tonight we are going full blast with two guests ready and raring to go. My name is Onengiye Fineface, sitting in for your regular host, Nnamdi Odipo, who is on official assignment elsewhere at the moment. In the meantime, again I say welcome to the mandate. My guest is a pharmacist by training and a development expert. He has used skills and experience garnered over the years to inspire leadership for Kwara Northerners, better still, the people of Kwara North Senatorial District under the 9th National Assembly. He will be returning to the upper legislative chamber and the 10th National Assembly to continue in the task of providing leadership and quality representation for his constituency. Senator Sadiq Suleiman Umar, Kwara North Senatorial District, welcome to the mandate and thanks for joining us tonight.
Thank you for having me.
By the way, Senator, I can understand combining pharmacy and public health and maybe business management. I am, however, intrigued at how you have managed to combine pharmacy, development management, and politics. How have all of these put together, blended and served, helped you to make you a better public representative of your people and Nigerians at large?
Thank you very much. You know, being a pharmacist, I'm trained to care for the health of citizens. And aside being a pharmacist, I picked interest in development work, which is basically the career I will spend most of my life in. And in development work, you are interested in problems that affect the people. Healthcare being the key, but there are other problems of education, infrastructure, water needs, and so on. So by the time I joined politics, it was easy for me to be able to navigate all of that as far as the interests of my people are concerned, because I understand that my goal is to serve them, represent their interests, and of course the interests of the nation. And yes, development work is focused on that.
Okay. You seem to have done things differently in Kwara North, or so your supporters say. Why is it considered unusual, for instance, to conduct a needs assessment of what your constituents require and to hire legislative aides from all the local governments that constitute Kwara North? If these were not the norms, even before your time as senator representing that zone, what makes some of these things that you have done uniquely positioned to foster goodwill and the confidence of your constituents?
Yeah, thank you. You see, the truth is, as a legislature, you are supposed to have aides and constituency offices in all your local governments. It is in your interest and in the interest of your people. If you have people representing you, they will give you feedback of what your people want, what they need. If they have concerns, you have a feedback mechanism. So that helps you to be better, it helps you to be more efficient, and it helps you to serve the people's interests. So that to me is regular to do, and I did that. It was very helpful to me. Now, as far as needs assessment is concerned, that again came from my experience as a development worker. You want to carry out any project, you need to know what the situation is, what the people want, and then design how you are going to go about it. And to me, politics is not different from development work. You are in politics to be able to help the people to develop the society generally. And to do that, you can't just jump in and start representing them and bringing in projects without knowing
what they want.
What's their priority? What do they need? What's the situation? What's the baseline? And you set targets that what do you want to achieve the first year, second year, third year, and if you have the opportunity for another second time, what do you want to do next? So to me that was what guided me, and alhamdulillah that worked and the people appreciated it.
Yeah, well, indeed you are described again by your fans, and I'm not sure that your opponents or those on the other side will agree, but they say your uncommon humility, simplicity, honesty, transparency, and most of all, your integrity has closed the gap between leadership and followership. Senator, in these days when leaders appear to have a bloated sense of self-worth, and we see that happen with even the federal lawmakers, do you agree that patriotism is latent on good leadership and that it in turns inspires good followership? And it's essentially a huge chunk of what is missing in governance and public service in Nigeria.
Oh, well, thank you for those kind of, even though I don't know where you got that from, maybe social media.
A little research into your background helped.
Well, I thank my constituents if they feel that about me. But I mean, for you to be elected or selected to lead or represent people, it's a real privilege. Who are you? You are just one individual among millions of persons. So you should appreciate it, appreciate God, and appreciate the people. So you have to be humble. You have to respect the people. You have to learn to listen to them. It will be helpful to you when you do that. Actually, you are at your best. When you listen to people, you respect them, and you go about your business with all sense of humility. Again, you talk about patriotism as the major drive that should help development.
For good leadership as well. Yeah.
If you are not patriotic, if you don't believe in something that you need to do this in the interest of citizens, you will not do the right thing. You will be doing what serves your own purpose.
Of course.
And by so doing, why would the people believe you? Why should the people follow you? Why should they have faith in you? So every good leadership starts from a passion. And that passion with patriotism, believing in state, believing in the people, believing in progress. And that can propel you and drive you to doing the right thing in the interest of the people and the society so that we can move forward. And that way it's easier for people to believe in you and follow you. And without a good followership, you can't have good leadership. Because no matter what you are doing, if the people you are leading don't believe in what you are doing, you will not get any result. While you are making effort to achieve something, other people will be dragging you backward because they don't believe you. So the first goal as a leader is to inspire trust and faith in you and the system you are trying to bring up for them. And when you do that, they will help you to achieve what you want to achieve, and then collectively we will be able to move the society forward.
Yeah. Now, within the context of leadership, how would you say you have laid the groundwork for better life for Kwara Northerners and indeed Nigerians, drawing from some of your work in the 9th National Assembly?
Yeah, thank you very much. So, in the 9th Assembly, at least I have close to about 30 bills to my credit, most of them in various stages. I have a few that has been passed, some are stuck at committee level. To me, I think that our problems in Nigeria are very clear. We have clear-cut problems: insecurity, poverty, underdevelopment that is linked to poor education and poor healthcare services, which are the two key developmental trenches that drive the society. Good healthcare system, good education, and the people are productive, and you create the enabling environment for them, and we move forward. So, I mean, no matter what you do, you have to ensure that the people appreciate that your focus is in moving them forward.
I'd like you to take you on what you just said about some of the things you do for people, good healthcare. Can you tell us what you've done about good healthcare, looking at the fact that that may not necessarily be the mandate of a lawmaker?
Well, true, we are supposed to make laws for good governance, and we have done that. So for most, you know, we've tinkered and done a lot of healthcare bills that helps in strengthening the healthcare system in Nigeria. But, you know, that is generally for the country, which is our job. But the people I represent in Kwara North, for example, they don't even have a primary healthcare center that is functional, with water supply, with healthcare personnel, with drugs, and so on. So if you are making the big laws for the bigger picture for the country, they need to see something. So in doing that, I've been able to attract, thank God we have constituency project, and you can also lobby for projects for your colleagues and from agencies. I've been able to get at least about 20 primary care centers to my constituency, evenly distributed in all the local government, most of it renovated and equipped so that they can render healthcare services to people at that lower level.
All right, what we have done so far seems more like a review of what you've done in the 9th Assembly. Now let's use some of what you have outlined to prospect ahead of the inauguration of the 10th Assembly and its legislative agenda. What issues would you perhaps like to see the incoming Senate conclusively resolve constitutionally?
The incoming Senate, there are a lot of issues. There are a lot of contentious issues in Nigeria. We've tried to amend the Constitution in the 9th Senate. A lot of it, the President have assented to, some, a lot are still hanging. The 10th Senate is a journey. Democracy is a journey. It's not an event. The 10th Senate need to take it from where the 9th Senate has stopped. Yeah. To be sure that democracy is institutionalized, is strengthened, and the people continue to believe in this system as long as they see it working for them, and there's progress and there's development. They'll be happy to follow, the leaders of the country.
Well, with a chunk of newbies in the National Assembly now, do you see that continuation of what has happened in the 9th Senate in the 10th Senate?
It is a calamity that, every election cycle will lose, experienced legislators. This time around, barely about 30 senators are returning. The rest are new persons. So, yes, you lose institutional memory, you lose experience, and so on. There will be some level of setback, but hey, democracy, like I say, and society generally is organic, and it's a continual process. We learn. New people coming, some people will be fast learners, some are coming with a lot of experiences from their, former stations, and we will be able to pick it up. Of course, I won't deny the fact that there will be some setback because we've lost some experienced legislators.
And I'm going to ask now, for those that are coming back, like yourself, with the experience you have, do you have any kind of plan to make sure those coming in for the first time are brought up to speed with what is happening, so that the target of easy transition and continuity of what you are doing can be achieved?
Oh yeah, so the system already have plans. There will be orientation to brush up new persons on how legislative activities goes on in the Senate, for example. But beyond that, that's why there's a ranking system from leadership to committee level. Those who are experienced will be properly positioned to handhold the new ones coming in. And of course, too, anybody who is a senator of the Federal Republic is definitely smart enough, experienced enough to be able to hit the ground running by basic interaction with other older colleagues, by reading, by studying what has been going on. I'm sure we'll be able to hit the ground running.
Well, we hope to see that working out. The 9th National Assembly was haunted by the rubber stamp toga for quite some time, and this was in spite of all that it was doing at the time in terms of lawmaking. How can the 10th National Assembly balance cordial legislative-executive relations, yet display full autonomy in a manner that inspires public confidence, and not like the time that most people challenged the 9th Assembly to override the president on the electoral bill, for instance?
Oh yeah, so again, the concept of autonomy of the legislature in a presidential democracy is overrated. There is no such thing as absolute autonomy. It's an interdependent government we run. The executive, the judiciary, and the legislature, they are all tied together. At best, we say check and balances. But the legislature cannot do anything without the executive. Even if you pass laws, the executive have to assent to it and agree. Even if you override them, somebody have to implement. They can refuse to implement it. So we are all dependent on one another. But let me say this. The concept of rubber stamp is as a result of lack of understanding of the workings of a democracy, really, especially in an underdeveloped or developing society like ours. Was there to rubber stamp or not to rubber stamp? In a developed democracy like United States of America, for example, they've overgone the basic things as poverty, food, water, road, power. They've passed those stages. So right now, they have clear issues. And the issues are always about taxation, immigration, slim government, balancing the budget, abortion, LGBT. So people are clear ideologically on what is their priority. Here, that's not our issue. We don't have roads. We don't have water.
Basic infrastructure.
We don't have hospital. Yes. There is no food. People are hungry. So we have a common problem that is very easy that we should all agree with. If the executive is interested in solving this problem, anything they bring to the legislature was there to say you are fighting that no, you don't want the government to build the road. Oh, you don't want. At best, your interest will be probably the modus operandi and some other details within the system that we should be debating. So for us, as a legislature, we are interested in the government succeeding, and anything the government brings in the interest of Nigerian people will quickly approve it. Other areas that there can be disagreement, we had better ways of resolving those disagreements.
Does that really take away the possibility of some level of autonomy?
No, we are autonomous. That's why we are an arm of government. That's why we are the one that pass law. That's why they must bring anything they bring for us to approve. But the point is, if they bring something that we think is not good enough for the country, we don't have to be fighting and be shouting before, it shows that we are independent.
But the citizens don't want it to look like it's everything that the executive brings to the table that the legislature will sign.
So which one is it that they don't want to? We shouldn't approve ministers, we shouldn't approve commissions, we shouldn't approve budgets swiftly and make sure it happens. I mean, for example, before budgets are not passed, National Assembly will fighting with the executive till April, May, June. Budget is not passed.
Okay.
Investors don't have confidence in the system. For us, we don't want that. We want the budget passed and the cycle brought into between January and December.
Into shape.
And to do that, all you need to do is to have understanding with the executive and do the right thing. Anywhere there is disagreement, resolve it maturely, even if it's behind the scene. Let's pass the budget in the interest of Nigeria. We don't have to be fighting the executive to show that we are independent or that we are doing so. But you know how it goes. People like to see.
I hear that. Really. I hear that. Now, it's barely 1 week after the National Assembly elections that the race for the Senate President in the 10th National Assembly kicked off. Now we seem to be approaching the head. Do you have any idea where the tide is likely to flow to? Or should I just ask, where are you leaning towards? And exactly what are you looking for in a Senate President?
Well, what we are looking for in a Senate President is a Senate President that will come and lead the Senate with dignity, with respect to democracy, the rule of law, progress for society, and support the executive to be able to deliver on what they promise the people. And remember, in a democracy, there's a majority party and there is a minority party.
These are minority parties.
Yes, the majority party will lead the legislature. Again, the executive is won by the majority party. The legislature too is dominated by the same party, which they are in majority. So whoever is also going to lead the Senate should be interested in the executive succeeding, because he has to deliver the same mandate we all promised the people. So it's not a problem. We have a party and we have leadership. Right now, it is ambition. Everybody is free to aspire to be, anything he wants to be. There are zonal interests, there are state interests, there are individual ambition. All of that is okay. It's a democracy. But in the final analysis, as a party, I belong to the APC and we are the majority party. We have a party, we have a leadership. We will resolve all the noise you hear and will produce a leader of the Senate who will lead the Senate, that will support the executive so that the executive will be able to deliver what we promise Nigerian people.
Well, Senator, that you really cannot wish away the requirements or the agitation for some sense of balance, where if the president is from a particular region, people will expect that the Senate president will come from another region. In your own opinion, ordinarily, where should you be looking at for the presidency of the Senate?
Well, if you ask my opinion, I will tell you that generally, you have to respect the sensibility of the politics
of the people, yes.
And the understanding is, there are arrangements of, in Nigeria, we look at geopolitics, we look at religion, all of these are important. And I can assure you that whether we like it or not, our leaders will balance it so that there will be harmony, not only in the Senate, but in the country.
Well, initially, we've had some talks about how the pendulum will swing. The party has talked about, we've heard about consensus, we've heard about zoning now. Looking at the the way things are unfolding and the dynamics and the structure of the party and the politics of Nigeria, what do you think is better, to go for a consensus candidate for the presidency or that of zoning? Of the Senate presidency, that is.
I think that whatever we work for our party that is going to lead the Senate is what is going to happen. Like you say, you know what a pendulum is? Pendulum keep on swinging, but center of gravity will always balance it
Yes.
at the end of it. Don't worry. The leaders of APC will balance this at the end of the day, and everybody, not everybody will be completely happy, but people will be happy sufficiently for us to be able to govern and make sure we move this country forward. We have bigger issues disturbing us that we need to face. Yeah.
Well, another big issue now is the Electoral Act. People are saying maybe a lot more needs to be done. There might be need for further amendments. Do you see the 10th Senate going into that to make the act more responsive to the yearnings of Nigerians, to make our electoral process maybe more transparent and build the trust of Nigerians?
Absolutely. If you ask me, for me, that's one of the bills that I'll be most passionate about in the 10th Senate. As somebody who benefits from a transparent election, I want to see this strengthen and strengthen. And we have been progressing, regardless of what anybody says. I said we want to protect from where we came from 1999 to today. From use of card reader, use of incidents form, we jettisoned that. We have waivers now. We are yet to vote electronically. We are yet to transmit electronically. But we should be moving. And I look forward to an electoral law that will improve again over the 2023 election, because 2023 was an improvement over 2019, 2019 was an improvement over 2015, and when you go back to 2019, you'll be shocked that it was a joke. So if you bring 1999 election today to 2003 and compare it to 2015, 19 and 2023, you will see there is a wide gap difference of what has transpired. We will be moving forward, and I'm sure by 2027 we have a better election again than 2023.
Well, distinguished, before I let you go, you had made allusion to our federalism in Nigeria, and I was wondering, do you think, in looking at the constitution now, there might be need to do some kind of review to reconsider the structure of Nigerian federalism, where some kind of definitive differences and peculiarities are sorted out for the state, for the local government, and the federal government, in terms of, for instance, contribution to national economy and the popular sharing of resources in the name of allocation from FAC?
Absolutely, I agree. A society keep on moving forward. We keep on improving. If you know where we came from in the 60s, 70s to today, you see there has been an improvement, there has been adjustment, and this journey is not going to stop. Society is organic, and we'll keep on moving, we'll keep on progressing until we get to the promised land.
Well, indeed, until we get to the promised land. Senator Sadiq Suleiman Umar, serving and returning senator for Kwara North Senatorial District. I would like to appreciate you immensely for joining us on the mandate. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much for having me.
We're not done yet. When we return, we will be focusing on our federal constituency in Kwara North State and how the newly elected member-elect will be providing credible representation. Stay with us. Thanks for staying with us. My next guest is also a member of the ruling All Progressives Congress. He is Dr. Patrick Umoh, member-elect for Ikotekpene Esenwudin, Obodakara Federal Constituency of Kwara North State. Honorable, welcome to the mandate.
Thank you very much.
You seem to believe that the business of lawmaking stands upon a tripod: legislation, oversight function, and constituency project. How do you plan to ensure that these functions correlate and align in a manner that ensure credible qualitative representation?
First and foremost, I'm happy to be here to talk to Nigerians about my commitment in the 10th Assembly as the House of Representatives of the Federal Republic of Nigeria.
And I'm sure they're happy to hear you.
I thank my supporters, thank those who prayed for me, those who worked for me, those who supported me, those who believed in me, for giving me the mandate to serve the people. I represent Ikorekpene, Esienudim, Oboroka Federal Constituency of very wonderful people. And they've entrusted me with this mandate to serve them. Basically, my background as a lawyer is somewhat what has prepared me or enabled me to provide that robust representation. And I'm homegrown. I know my people. I know what they need. I've done my assessment of what can be done to better the lots of my people. And I'm also committed to the welfare of my people. And I also know what should be done to place them on the national map. See, I want to make a difference. And I'm prepared to serve.
Well, I would like to take you slightly back to the question. We're looking at legislation, oversight function, and constituency projects. How do you think these three work to make you, for instance, a better or effective legislature and representative of the people?
Well, first, we're looking at the legislation, the aspect of legislation. My view is that we need to build institutions. We need to look at laws that can build the Nigerian institutions and allow Nigeria to run as a federal republic. That's first. And then there are some laws that are very obsolete. We look at them and see how to amend these laws. Then we also look at the challenges of our people and the kind of laws that will enable them thrive. For instance, I come from an area that is largely agrarian. People are in agriculture and all that. And then I know that they need access to basic things that can expand, they can expand whatever they're doing, can enlarge their coast in terms of investments and all that. They can move from just subsistence farming to commercial farming. And then we can look at other laws that can enable them achieve what they desire to achieve. We have a youthful population in where I come from. And I also know that the economy now, the emerging economy now is ICT. So we look at laws that can enable them in that direction. And then we also look at the other people who have engaged themselves in some small-scale businesses. And then we'll make laws that can enable whatever they do. So it is really about the people. And then also build confidence, let Nigerians have confidence in those representing them. That's in the area of legislation. In the area of oversight function, then we'll look at the things that are on ground. And we supervise them. We monitor what people are doing. You see, if you get into the structure that we have in our country, you see the gaps. So we need to look at those areas and
Are there gaps in your constituency that you're concerned about?
Of course.
What are they? Share with me.
For instance, you find some federal government abandoned projects.
Okay.
And then there are institutions that are supposed to guarantee the effectiveness of those things.
Okay.
There are gaps.
Okay.
And sometimes people don't own these projects. And you see, the people suffer at the end of the day because nobody can account for the existence of such projects. You see a massive project owned by the federal government, yet there is nobody, ensuring that the project is workable or functional. So we need to guarantee that, we need to make laws that can guarantee, strengthen those kind of institutions.
Now,
very many.
You also talked about obsolete laws. Have you identified any so far that you think you would want to tinker with, when you are inaugurated and you come into power, into office?
There are so many, a plethora of them.
Really? Can you share anyone with?
Of course.
Go on.
The one that happens every day. Like I said earlier, given my background as a lawyer,
yes,
I was in practice. I've been in practice for about 12 years now.
That's good.
There is no week you won't find issues about matrimonial causes, for instance. That's very elementary.
Okay.
Back then in the days, marriage was between a man and a woman.
Yes.
But now I'm sure you know the graduation from that dimension.
No, we are still there, not in our climate. We are in Nigeria, still between a man and a woman.
Yes. Now, again, the grounds for dissolution of marriage seems to stretch from what it used to be. So the borderline is not what it used to be. There are issues in the Marriage Act that should be looked at. And beyond even the Marriage Act, there are other kinds of laws that exist without facing the currency of the situation to address current challenges. So we can look at those laws, and even our criminal laws. we look at them and see how we can make changes, effect changes that will benefit the Nigerian people. Besides just representing the reality is that we represent Nigerians because it is a national assembly.
Yes.
So we come together to ensure that whatever we do affects the entire Nigerian population.
Okay.
And so that's the obligation that we have towards the Nigerian people.
And not just the people of your immediate constituency.
The confines of my constituency.
Yeah, in addition to being a lawyer, you're also a teacher of the law. If I am to factor your classes in the Faculty of Law, University of Umoh, I am not sure how teaching the law translates to having a master grasp of making the law. But what edge does that give you as a first-term lawmaker in the legislative chamber?
Of course, you will agree with me that this thing, there's no distinct line between a lawmaker and a lawyer. I mean, those who make laws for even lawyers to use in practice.
And also a teacher of law.
I'm a teacher like Gamaliel, I'm a teacher of the law. And so these are areas I feel very conversant with. I've spent a lot of time studying legal drafting and even teaching some aspects of it. So
Okay.
it's not, I don't have difficulties in being a member of the National Assembly. It's something that I have always planned to be part of. I've always been interested in representing my people in the National Assembly. And so as a lawyer, I do know that I am competent and that the capacity is there by the mercies and grace of God to represent my people and to do the needful. So there is a co-relationship between somebody who teaches the law, somebody who makes the law, and
somebody who practices the law. Yeah.
So now I have to leave practice for a while to represent Nigerians. And I'm going to do well. I'm confident I'll do well.
But you know, there is this cross-party pollination that is often the game in the National Assembly, and I'm not sure how ready and willing you'll be embracing that culture. You are known as a party man, a deeply ingrained APC man in Akwa Ibom State.
Absolutely.
You have described yourself as such in so many words over the years, if I am not mistaken. I said this because even you, in your own words, acknowledge that in the legislature, lobbying is sine qua non, but loyalty is the key. How do you hope to manage party loyalty and yet lobby across the lines to achieve some of your set targets?
There will be a perfect blend. We need a National Assembly that can represent the interests and aspirations of Nigerians. That's the most important thing. We'll lobby to ensure that we have the things we need for our people. You see, lobbying in the parliament is key. You must lobby to get things for your people. Of course, it is not all about going to a National Assembly to speak grammar. You must lobby to get projects back so that your people will take great benefit. And so that's very key. And then on the other hand, party is supreme. I mean, I'm a politician. I'm a party man. I am in the National Assembly today through the mandate of the All Progressives Congress. And so I must represent the aspirations of my party. I must represent the manifesto of my party. I must be a true reflection of a true party man who is in parliament. But then, above all this, it is the Constitution of Nigeria that guides whatever I do in the National Assembly. And so we will do that. The Constitution becomes our article of faith, because this is what we owe Nigerians. And so we're in a time where we need to do all that we can to ensure that Nigeria works, because it is our Nigerian project and we're all partakers in it. So we have just one thing that is common to all of us. We have just one nation common to all of us. And we must do all that we can as parliamentarians to ensure that Nigeria is great again.
I'm sure you're very excited that you are now a member of the House coming in through the APC from a state that was popularly known as a PDP stronghold. How do you feel, emerging from that kind of environment, looking at the dynamics of politics in Akwa Ibom, and what does this portend for politics in Akwa Ibom State, that APC can now have a say where PDP was reigning supreme?
Well, I am confident that in no distant time, Akwa Ibom will entirely be APC.
What makes it so sure?
Of course, we can see the graduation. During the 2019 elections, we did not make the kind of bulwark that we have made this time.
Okay.
In fact, to say it in very modest terms, the presence of His Excellency Senator Godswill Akpabio,
okay,
as a member of the APC,
I was waiting
as
to hear that.
Senator-elect of APC, is a guarantee that he will take over Akwa Ibom. That's a man who is so loved. Was governor, he served as governor, he's been senator before.
Minister.
This is his second time. He's been minister, he was minister of the Niger Delta Ministry, and he did a lot of work. And if you go to Akwa Ibom, you will find uncommon transformation there, and the testimonies are there till date, after many years as governor. If you go there, I think that's about the best governor we've had in Akwa Ibom from the creation of the state.
Well, I will leave that. I will leave that. But go on.
You won't shut me up because
no.
Yes.
Go on.
Because these are facts and they are on ground.
Okay.
And so now that he is set for the race of the Senate President, you can be sure that Akwa Ibom will follow suit. We will all be in APC.
Okay, well, we are talking of the House of Assembly now. House of Reps said now, but you know,
we're talking about National Assembly.
National Assembly, yeah.
Yes.
And I know you want to sell both your candidates and all your party members and all of that. Yeah. And I know Senator Godswill Akpabio will be excited to have you talk about him. But I want to talk about how do you plan to set a benchmark in the 10th National Assembly using qualitative representation, and give me a hint of your legislative agenda.
Fantastic. The first interest that I have, my target is the youth. Like I said earlier, we have a huge youthful population in where I come from. And we need to engage them. Now, government alone cannot employ all of them. So we need to look at legislations that can open up areas for them to be self-reliant. Because if they are self-reliant, we reduce crime. Okay. If they are self-reliant, we will reduce poverty, we will reduce unemployment. So everybody cannot work in government ministries, agencies, parastatal or extra ministerial department. So we need to look at areas to engage our youth. Like I talked about small, medium scale engagements, talked about farming and all that, even education, even the ICT. The ICT is a great industry that they have to invest in, and they have a lot of energy. So we need to do these things. And like I say, in the nearest future, we will no longer have roof zincs covering our roofs. We will have solar panels.
Okay.
Even our cars will be driven by photovoltaic panels.
Okay.
That we will not need to use petrol. And so we need to get these young people rightly engaged in such areas so that they are trained, they are given capacity, and they can face or embrace the future, and they will make money.
I hear you.
So we're going to look at laws on climate change that can also assist our people, particularly the youths.
Yeah, I hear you, Honorable. Now, all of the things you said, especially about youth employment, ICT and others, are not new. You agree with me that these are things people say, politicians say these things all the time. I'm sure you read people before now say the same things about the same people you are going to represent. What will you be doing differently? What will you be doing differently now to achieve this as a lawmaker representing your people?
Well, I have plans to engage with my people. I have 33 wards in Ikorekpene, Isenudim and Oboroka. Now, I have interest in going down to the grassroots, engaging them in town hall meetings, and understanding the need, having a need assessment of what the people truly want.
You don't have that already?
No, hold on.
Okay, go on.
You can't have that now, because you have to engage, go meet the people. Discover their problems, their problems from time to time, because life is dynamic. Rural life is dynamic.
But you said you can't have that now, and I'm wondering, what did you tell them to make them vote for you if you don't have a sense of their need?
You're mixing these up.
Okay, please go on.
Now, as a parliamentarian, you have town hall meetings with your people. You visit them in their rural communities, from one ward to the other. Like I mentioned earlier, we have 33 wards. So we have to go around from time to time and have town hall meetings, have constituency briefings, let them have an interface with you, one-on-one. that's away from when you are campaigning.
Okay.
Because you are now engaging them as their true representative.
Okay.
And they will tell you, look, this is what we need. I may have my needs assessment of the people, but it may differ from what they truly need. For instance, I may feel that if I go to, say, Ward A, say if I go to Ikorobia Ward 2, for instance, where I come from, I may have a perception of what I feel the people need, which is actually not what they feel they want from me.
Okay.
So there must be that interface so that we realize and understand ourselves, and then we can be on on the same page as to what the people truly need. Sometimes you find legislators who go to dig boreholes, whereas the people need hospitals or cottage clinics or some public health care centers. That may be the need of the people. For where I come from, you go to miles, so you take some miles to find a public health clinic or public health care service,
health
so
center.
that people can have access to quality health care. That I feel that's the need of the people, particularly where I come from. So that's my view. But then I need to interface with people. This is what I want to do for you. Will this meet your need? And then we agree, and then it is done. Then I come back to what you said, lobbying. You lobby the necessary agency of government, and you get that for your people. That's my duty as a representative. And I want them to have that confidence in me that I can do what they have asked me to do. Because I'm their servant, I'm their representative, and that's what I owe them. That's what I owe Nigeria. Yeah. Because if life is better in that rural community, then Nigeria is transformed from that perspective. So that is it.
Yeah, what you just said now falls in line with communication for development, or development communication, if you may, where you have to hear from the people, know what they want, and then work in line with their needs. Now, beyond going, engaging them in town hall meetings, are you exploring other means? Are there other avenues you wish to explore to be able to understand their needs and then respond accordingly?
Of course, in the first place, we will have a constituency office.
Okay.
I represent 3 local government areas. I will also have assistants, that's what people call personal assistants. Well, we will draw them from wards, 33 wards, and they will give me feedback.
Domiciled in those
offices. Yeah, domiciled in those 33 wards. They will give me feedback as to what the people truly want. I'm not going to believe in a situation where you gather people and you just do some kind of people are immersed in some euphoria that you are doing what they call empowerment and all that. No, I'll go around to the people. I will identify
with motorbikes.
You give people motorbikes today, they have accidents, some use it to promote crime. But that's not the way to empower them. We must do things that are sustainable.
Okay.
Sustainable in the sense that we will train people, we will build capacity. Human capital development is the most important thing we have to do for our people. Okay,
now in other words, you're telling me you will not be an Abuja lawmaker who always be in Abuja enjoying the largesse that the new office will provide for you.
No,
and the status,
No, I'm naturally a very simple person. So I'd like to go down to the grassroots.
You will not be based here in Abuja all the time. You will not be enjoying the air condition and free traffic and.
I have known Abuja.
And the status of lawmaker.
Well, I don't know what that means. All I know is that
I think you know.
all I know is that my people have given me the mandate to serve them.
Okay.
And so I must go back to them, have a feedback from them. We must engage in human capital development.
Okay.
Especially that of the youths. Like I said, that's the largest of all the people, largest population of the people I'm representing. After youth, you have the women.
All right.
So I must focus on them because I am youthful. I have a number of years to still live on earth, so I must be committed to them. In fact, if you look at the votes that I had,
I got it from your colleagues, the youths.
That junk came from the youths.
All right, Honorable. There is this sense of excitement many lawmakers, new ones especially, have when they get into office, and it is often met with a sense of disillusionment at the end, when they realize that making laws and fulfilling lofty electioneering promises are entirely different games. Are you sure you have come to terms with this reality?
Of course, I have been in Nigeria all these years. I know what is obtainable in our country. I know how to make the difference. I know why I took that decision to contest elections to serve my people. And like I said, in Akwa Ibom we have a model. I have a mentor. His Excellency Godswill Akpabio. You can't drag me from there. That's the man who has set the pace. And so we must copy from there. He did so much, he did so well for our people, and he has provided the needed political mentorship for me.
Okay.
So if I do well, then I'm promoting him, and I'm promoting my people who gave me this mandate. So I have a lot to do. It's a serious obligation. It's a huge obligation on me. And so I am committed. I've covenanted with my people to serve them. And I must make my mentor proud.
Well, I've been to Isenwudim, and I enjoyed the local delicacy of the people. So I look forward to another opportunity to visit that constituency, perhaps when you settle into office as their representative.
That'll be my pleasure. That'll be my pleasure.
Okay, I would like to thank you, my guest, Dr. Patrick Umoh, member-elect for Ikotek Pene, Esenwudim, Obodakara, Federal Constituency of Akwa Ibom State. I hope I got that name right, Obodakara.
Absolutely. That's even by local government. Thank you.
Thank you for joining us.
Thank you so much.
And that is it for tonight. Join us same time on Friday for another fresh episode of the program. My name is Onengie Fineface. Good night and see you soon.
Thank you so much.